Have you ever noticed how the world seems to change beneath your feet? How the air feels different from one month to the next? How the sun paints shadows longer or shorter across your room? Maybe you've felt the gentle warmth of spring after a long winter, or the crisp hush of autumn leaves swirling underfoot. These changes aren't random. They are part of a cosmic dance, a story written in the tilt and spin of our Earth. Tonight, we're going to drift together through that story. We'll follow the Earth as it leans and spins around the sun, feeling the quiet rhythms that shape every season. If you're joining me from somewhere in the world, I'd love to hear which season greets you today. Comment below, and as you settle in to explore, consider subscribing so we can wander the universe together, one gentle story at a time. So close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath, and imagine the Earth turning beneath you, the sunlight tracing patterns across continents, and the secret rhythm of the seasons unfolding all around. Let's begin our journey. Imagine holding a small globe in your hands. The continents are soft shapes beneath your fingers, oceans shimmering in shades of deep blue. As you turn it gently, notice that it does not spin perfectly upright. Instead, it leans slightly, tilting at an angle of 23.5 degrees. This is Earth's quiet secret, a subtle lean that shapes the rhythm of our days, our nights, and the very essence of the seasons themselves. The tilt seems almost fragile when you consider the vastness of space. Yet this slight inclination is the reason summer feels warm and long, and winter carries its hush and chill. Many imagine that the Earth's distance from the sun alone brings warmth or cold, but the truth is more graceful, more intricate. Seasons are born from this gentle tilt, guiding how sunlight falls across each hemisphere, tracing shadows that stretch and shrink with the passage of months. As the Earth spins, this lean tilts different hemispheres toward or away from the sun. In June, the northern half leans forward, bathing its lands in more direct light. Days grow long, evenings linger, and the sun climbs high in the sky. Meanwhile, the southern half leans away, feeling shorter days and softer warmth. 6 months later, the rhythm reverses, as though the planet itself were breathing in a slow, cosmic sigh. Take a moment now and place your awareness on this tilt. Visualize the Earth in your hands again, this tiny sphere of rock, water, and life. Sense the lean as if it were a gentle nod, a bow to the sun, inviting light to touch forests, deserts, mountains, and cities in a particular dance. The tilt does not shout its importance. It whispers, guiding the planet's temperature, the flowering of plants, the migrations of birds, and the habits of humans. Consider the path of sunlight. When the hemisphere tilts toward the sun, rays strike the surface more directly, concentrating warmth in a narrower band. When it leans away, sunlight spreads thin, grazing the landscape at a shallower angle. These subtle differences, imperceptible if you glance too quickly, orchestrate the flow of seasons. Even a slight variation of a few degrees in tilt could transform our world entirely, creating climates unrecognizable to us. Now imagine watching the globe from above, suspended in space. You would see shadows sliding across mountains, forests, and oceans like ribbons of time. The Arctic Circle, during its summer tilt, glows in unbroken sunlight, while 6 months later, the same lands fall into darkness. The equator, by contrast, changes little, always receiving fairly direct rays. Our perspective from Earth does not always reveal this grand choreography, but in the quiet of imagination, the motion becomes visible, almost tactile. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the Earth spinning beneath you. Each rotation is a heartbeat of time, each tilt a subtle cue that something is about to change. Notice the atmosphere moving gently around the planet, carrying warmth and moisture, preparing life for the next chapter in its cycle. Your awareness of this tilt brings you closer to the pulse of the world, connecting the cosmic dance to the everyday experience of sunlight on your skin or the chill of a winter morning. The tilt's influence stretches beyond just warmth and cold. It defines which stars grace the night sky, which constellations hover over your head at certain times of year, and even how winds and currents flow around the globe. It is a quiet architect of our environment, a gentle sculptor shaping the contours of life without force or urgency. Think now of a tree growing in your mind's eye. In summer, it stretches toward long golden days, leaves soaking up every beam of sunlight. In winter, it bows under the shorter, gentler light, conserving energy, resting. This cycle is guided by the same tilt that holds the globe in your hands. The Earth's lean is not just geometry. It is poetry, a rhythm imprinted on the living planet. As we sit with this image, allow a feeling of gratitude to settle in. The tilt is so unassuming, yet it touches every corner of existence. Birds follow its silent guidance during migration. Oceans respond with subtle shifts in current and temperature, and humans, perhaps more slowly, more reflectively, notice the change in light, the lengthening or shortening of days, and the whispered invitation to adjust, to flow with the planet's pulse. Let this awareness of the tilted planet become a gentle meditation. Feel the subtle inclination under your hands. Imagine the sun's rays tracing angled paths across continents, and sense the slow, deliberate rhythm that defines the passage of seasons. In this tilt, you witness the first chapter of Earth's seasonal story, the quiet, steady force behind summer warmth, autumn's fading light, winter's hush, and the soft return of spring. As you carry this image forward, remember that the tilt is constant, yet ever-changing in its effect. It connects us to the universe, a delicate interaction between planet and star, between geometry and life. This small 23.5-degree lean is a reminder that even gentle angles can create monumental rhythms, shaping days, nights, and years. And as you drift deeper into this story, the spinning, tilting Earth becomes not just a planet in space, but a companion, turning gracefully, silently, and perfectly in its seasonal dance. The Earth moves quietly, gracefully, in its invisible ballroom around the sun. It does not rush. There is no frantic hurry, no hasty steps. Instead, it traces a subtle, almost imperceptible ellipse, a path shaped over billions of years, smooth and unbroken. Imagine this movement as a slow dance, each year a gentle turn, each season a soft bow. You can picture it if you like. The sun at the center, radiant, constant, and our planet circling, never colliding, never faltering. Despite what we often assume, the Earth's distance from the sun is not what creates our seasons. The Earth is closest to the sun at a moment called perihelion, and farthest at aphelion, but the difference in distance is modest, hardly enough to explain the warmth of summer or the chill of winter. Instead, it is the Earth's tilt that leads the choreography, the angle of sunlight striking each hemisphere. The orbit merely provides the stage, a wide, gentle curve along which our planet glides, performing its cosmic ballet. You might imagine the orbit as a slow waltz, a line of motion so vast that it is almost impossible to see with the naked eye. From high above, you could trace the path, like a faint ring drawn in invisible ink around the sun. The shape is an ellipse, slightly stretched, never perfectly circular, a subtle asymmetry that adds depth and character to the movement. The sun, enormous and radiant, remains the center of attention, casting light evenly in all directions, while Earth pirouettes, tilting, leaning, presenting its varying angles to the golden rays. If you hold a mental image of this dance, picture the Northern Hemisphere leaning toward the sun during one part of the orbit. Here, the sunlight arrives more directly, spreading warmth across the forests, fields, and oceans. Shadows shorten, days lengthen, and the world glows with extended light. Months later, the hemisphere tilts away. Sunlight slants across the surface, weaker and cooler. Shadows stretch long, and the days seem to shrink as night gathers earlier. The orbit itself has continued, yet the tilt, the quiet inclination of 23.5 degrees, creates all the difference, turning a constant journey into the cycle of seasons. Think of Earth not as a rigid globe but as a dancer with a subtle lean, gliding smoothly in its ellipse. The sun does not chase the Earth. The Earth does not rush to the sun. Instead, each year repeats the motion, each orbit perfectly timed, a natural rhythm that has continued for eons. There is something hypnotic in imagining this continuous motion, a slow yet inexorable pattern that carries life along without fanfare. It is a cosmic waltz, performed for the quiet audience of stars and planets that surround us. From a distance, the orbit looks like a calm, unbroken curve, but up close, the tilts and angles reveal themselves. They define the duration of daylight, the height of the sun in the sky, the intensity of warmth on your skin. The orbital path, when paired with the tilt, orchestrates the annual rhythm. Spring emerges as the Northern Hemisphere begins to tip toward the sun. Summer reaches its peak when the tilt is maximal, autumn whispers in the balance, and winter arrives when the tilt recedes. All of this happens in the same elliptical sweep, the same gentle dance step repeated year after year. Try to visualize Earth from above as it travels this path. Imagine floating alongside it, seeing continents turn beneath, oceans shimmer, clouds drift. The curvature of the orbit guides the movement, but it is the angle of sunlight that writes the poetry of the seasons across every landscape. There is a subtle elegance in the separation of effects. The orbit provides the path, steady and unchanging. The tilt determines the performance, dramatic yet gentle, affecting every leaf, every wave, every breeze. Even the perihelion and aphelion, these points of slight closeness or distance from the sun, can be imagined as the dance's soft accents, a brief emphasis in the rhythm. Life on Earth hardly notices the few million kilometers difference. It is the slant of the sun's rays, the tilt of the planet, that colors each season with light, shadow, warmth, and coolness. Nature responds without complaint, animals and plants marking the changing days with subtle gestures. Bud opening, migration beginning, leaves drifting downward. All of it choreographed not by proximity, but by geometry, by the elegant tilt and the orbit's quiet sweep. As you imagine this, allow your mind to feel the passage of time. Slowly, Earth glides onward. You are neither above nor below but part of the gentle flow, a witness to the delicate alignment of planet and star. The sun shines, steady and enduring, and the Earth leans or tilts or angles, creating the contrasts we know as seasons. There is trust in this motion. It is ancient, reliable, eternal in its recurrence, and we are carried along with it, season by season, year by year, orbit by orbit. Perhaps now you can sense the poetry in the orbit itself. It is not a simple circle, not a mere line in space, but a stage for a slow, graceful dance. The Earth, the sun, the tilt, and the angle of light all combine in a choreography that has persisted since the planet first formed. Even when clouds hide the sun, even when frost bites, the dance continues, unbroken, imperceptible yet powerful, shaping the world in silent, rhythmic motion. In this quiet reflection, you may find a sense of awe. Consider the thought that every day, every season, every gentle change in light comes from this elegant, ongoing performance. There is a reason ancient humans marveled at the skies. They, too, witnessed the dance, noticing subtle shifts, long before telescopes or satellites. And here you are, imagining it, feeling the orbit's slow sway, understanding that Earth is both traveler and performer, moving in harmony with the sun in a dance that repeats endlessly, yet never quite the same, as each day brings new light and each year completes its circle. Take a moment to drift in this image. Earth moving, tilting, leaning, tracing its ellipse with grace, sunlight spilling across oceans and deserts, forests and mountains, each hemisphere greeting the sun with a different embrace. Let yourself feel the rhythm, the quiet pulse of the orbit, the slow waltz that defines our year. Notice the gentle poetry in the motion, the silent, invisible choreography that creates all the seasons we know, and imagine, if you can, the dance continuing long after tonight, long after any single human life, steady, eternal, graceful. The sun is more than a distant fire in the sky. It is a giver, a sculptor, a quiet artist shaping the world with invisible hands. Each ray carries light and warmth, tracing its path from a star nearly 150 million kilometers away, only to touch your skin, the surface of a lake, the leaves of a tree, or the frozen tips of distant mountains. That journey, so long, so steady, so precise, reminds you that nothing about life on Earth is random. Every glow, every flicker of warmth, is the result of countless interactions, cosmic distances crossed, and energy converted in a delicate chain that began long before you opened your eyes today. Sunlight arrives in many forms. Some you see clearly, the golden beams spilling across the horizon at dawn. Others are invisible, traveling in ultraviolet or infrared, bending and shifting through the atmosphere, invisible messengers of heat and energy. The warmth you feel on your face is infrared sunlight, absorbed and transformed by your skin, making molecules vibrate, creating life's gentle heat. It is almost miraculous. Energy traveling across space, touching matter, creating motion, sensation, and growth. The light itself is constant, but its effect is never uniform. The angle at which it arrives changes everything. When the sun climbs high in the sky, the rays strike directly, spreading warmth evenly, illuminating every crevice and curve. When it rests low, the light slants across the land, long shadows stretching, colors deepening, warmth diluted. It is this subtle geometry, the tilt of the planet, the curvature of the surface, that turns sunlight into seasons, that paints time itself in the colors of day and night, of spring and winter. Consider the oceans. They are enormous mirrors, vast stretches of liquid reflecting sunlight and absorbing it in equal measure. Sunlight warms the surface, driving evaporation, creating clouds, wind, and rain, circulating energy across the globe. In a forest, light filters through leaves, breaking into patterns that dance on the forest floor, providing energy for photosynthesis, the foundation of life. Even the coldest polar ice feels the sun's touch, however faint, and it responds, melting and flowing, shaping landscapes over centuries. Light is movement, warmth is transformation, and together they are life's quiet pulse. You can also imagine the interplay of light and shade. A sunbeam falls across a meadow, illuminating a single flower, while the rest of the field lies in gentle shadow. The contrast defines the world, creates depth, teaches your eyes to see, and teaches your body to sense warmth. The warmth is uneven, not just because of distance or intensity, but because the earth itself is not uniform. Mountains rise, valleys dip, oceans flow, and deserts absorb sunlight differently from forests. Every curve of the land, every ripple of water, every canopy of leaves, interacts with light, shaping temperature, color, and life. The sun's warmth is also a silent keeper of time. It governs the seasons, yes, but it also governs your days. The rising sun signals activity, the high sun marks the center of time, and the fading light invites rest. In ancient cultures, people watched sunlight to mark the year, to plant and harvest, to celebrate cycles of growth. Modern life may obscure the connection, but it is still present. When the sun is low, your body feels the change. When it is bright, energy flows. Light and warmth are not just physical phenomena. They are guides, rhythms, teachers in a subtle classroom written in photons. Even the color of sunlight affects life. Morning light is soft, red-tinged, carrying less energy, coaxing the world gently awake. Midday light is stark, almost white, forcing clarity, highlighting detail. Evening light returns to soft golds and pinks, a gentle farewell, cooling the land after hours of sunlight's embrace. The sky itself changes color because of how sunlight interacts with air and molecules, scattering blue in all directions and turning dawn and dusk into a painter's canvas. Light is both energy and art, warmth both necessity and poetry. When sunlight touches your body, it triggers invisible chemical reactions, helping your skin produce vitamin D, influencing mood, circadian rhythms, and even memory. Light is nourishment, warmth is stimulus, and the two together form an intimate connection with life. You feel it without always noticing. Heat on your skin, clarity in your mind, the quiet rhythm of days passing. The sun does not rush. It does not shout. It simply offers, and life responds, subtly, insistently, beautifully. Consider the extremes. In the desert, sunlight is almost unbroken, relentless, a powerful force shaping survival. At the poles, it barely touches for months, retreating under long nights, forcing adaptation. Every creature, every plant, every wave responds to these variations, finding its place along the gradient of light and warmth. Life is not random. It is tuned to the pulse of sunlight, a dance synchronized with the movement of the Earth, the tilt of its axis, the timing of the orbit. Light and warmth create patterns that life reads and answers with quiet intelligence. And yet, despite all this, sunlight is fleeting from the human perspective. A single day passes, seasons flow, and we can barely perceive the vastness of its journey. The photons you feel on your skin began long before your birth, traveling across the solar system, passing through empty space, unperturbed, faithful. Light and warmth are constants, unchanging in their source, yet endlessly varied in effect. There is a sense of wonder in realizing that every golden hour, every warm afternoon, is a continuation of a process that has endured for billions of years. So allow yourself to imagine it fully. Let the sun be more than a bright spot in the sky. Feel its warmth as a gift, a silent teacher, a pulse connecting you to oceans, trees, mountains, and distant stars. Light touches, warmth transforms, and together they write the rhythm of life, the passage of days, the subtle turning of seasons. Every moment bathed in sunlight is a reminder that we are part of a universe governed not by chaos, but by rhythm, geometry, and energy. And in that realization, there is calm, there is awe, there is connection. The sun and earth dance, light and warmth follow, and life moves in step, quiet, enduring, endlessly grateful for the smallest flicker of heat and the faintest shimmer of light. There is no rush, no urgency, only the perfect unfolding of energy, the careful choreography of physics and life intertwined. And if you close your eyes, you can feel it. The sun's warmth pressing gently against your skin, the light brushing your mind, and a quiet knowledge that you are part of this immense, ancient, beautiful process. The earth does not remain still. It spins, it tilts, it traces a vast circle around the sun, and through this quiet motion, the world changes in rhythm and hue. Seasons are the most subtle of timekeepers, invisible to the eye until the moment their influence is felt. They arrive not with fanfare, but with gradual shifts. A soft lengthening of days, a gentle cooling of the night air, a blush of green emerging along a riverbank. Each season is a whisper from the cosmos, a reminder that the Earth is alive in its own orbit, moving with a rhythm older than any human story. The tilt of the Earth's axis is small, only 23.5 degrees, yet it is everything. Without it, the sun would strike the surface evenly year-round, and the world would be an unchanging, monotone place. Instead, tilt gives birth to the cycles we know as spring, summer, autumn, and winter. As the planet moves along its path, different regions lean toward or away from the sun, receiving more or less light, more or less warmth. In that simple geometry lies a world of transformation. Ice melts, rivers swell, crops sprout, forests ignite with color, winds shift, and life responds with exquisite timing. In the Northern Hemisphere, spring arrives as a quiet crescendo. Snow retreats, revealing the soil beneath, dark and fertile, eager to give life to seeds buried long before. Buds emerge on trees, hesitant at first, then bold with color. Flowers open to the sun, insects stir, and migratory birds return from distant lands, guided by instincts tuned to sunlight and temperature. The days lengthen imperceptibly at first, but with each passing week, the light lingers longer, coaxing the world into motion. Warmth follows gradually, not all at once, reminding everything to pace itself, to awaken gently. Summer is the season of abundance, of light at its zenith. The sun climbs higher, its rays striking the land more directly, filling lakes with shimmer and meadows with gold. Warmth is no longer a gentle caress. It becomes firm, steady, unrelenting in its insistence. Life responds in fullness. Trees are dense with leaves, animals active from dawn to dusk, and the earth hums with energy. It is a season of growth, of possibility, of the sun's power made tangible. And yet, even in summer, there is variation. Mountains remain cool in their heights, forests shade the ground beneath, and oceans temper their warmth with currents that travel vast distances. Light and heat are everywhere, but never uniform, always sculpting complexity. Autumn brings a subtle surrender. Days shorten, the sun's path lowers in the sky, and light strikes at a gentler angle. Temperatures dip, first in the mornings, then in the afternoons. Leaves turn from green to gold, amber, and crimson, a final act of brilliance before letting go. The earth prepares itself for rest, signaling animals to gather, humans to harvest, and plants to slow their work. There is a reflective quality to autumn, a sense of closure and quiet preparation. Light is softer, warmth receding, and the balance of energy shifts, reminding all life that nothing endures forever in its current state. Winter is the season of retreat, of minimal light and the quietest warmth. Sunlight strikes obliquely, hours of day shrink, and cold dominates much of the land. Rivers freeze, forests become skeletal, and snow blankets the world in silence. Yet even here, there is beauty and necessity. Life conserves itself, waits patiently for the cycle to turn again. Animals burrow, seeds remain dormant, and the earth slows, as if breathing in anticipation. Though the sun seems distant, its influence never truly fades. Every winter day still carries the promise of spring, a reminder that the seasons are a conversation, not a command. The Southern Hemisphere experiences these seasons opposite to the North. When it is summer here, it is winter there. When autumn descends over one hemisphere, spring awakens in the other. The equator, lying between these two extremes, experiences a more subtle variation, where seasons are defined less by temperature than by rainfall, where light is nearly constant, yet life still dances to the rhythms of rain and sun. Across the globe, the tilt of a single planet governs diverse experiences of light and warmth, shaping life in myriad ways. Seasons are also a conversation with human culture. For millennia, People have watched the changes in the sky and land to plan, to celebrate, and to survive. Festivals, rituals, and stories often mark the turning points of the year, from solstice to equinox. Knowledge of the seasons allowed civilizations to plant crops, harvest food, and travel with safety. Today, we may take for granted what was once a matter of survival, yet the subtle dance of seasons still influences our moods, our routines, and our connection to the world. There is a rhythm, a pulse, that resonates with every life, human or not, and we are tuned to it whether we notice or not. Consider the oceans once more. Seasonal changes alter currents, temperature, and the behavior of marine life. Phytoplankton blooms with spring light, feeding vast networks of creatures, while winter chills slow activity in polar waters. Winds shift with the seasons, moving clouds and storms across continents, redistributing energy in a quiet, constant conversation between land, sea, and sky. Life is never separate from these cycles. Everything bends to the rhythm of the orbit, the tilt, the sun's angle, a cosmic choreography that endures far beyond any single life. Even our perception of time is bound to the seasons. A day in summer feels longer, filled with sunlight and warmth. A winter day seems brief, shadowed, and still. Our bodies, too, respond to seasonal cues, sleep patterns, hormone levels, moods, all subtly influenced by light and temperature. The seasons are both external and internal, a shared rhythm linking you to trees, rivers, oceans, and animals. Life itself is a reflection of the Earth's journey, an echo of its tilt, its motion, and its orbit around the sun. So notice them, the quiet shifts, the invisible hands shaping life. The seasons are not interruptions. They are continuations, movements in a long, unbroken sequence. Spring awakens, summer flourishes, autumn releases, winter rests. Around the globe, light and warmth ebb and flow, sculpting ecosystems, guiding migrations, and whispering to humans and creatures alike. In every leaf, every snowflake, every ripple of water, the Earth's rhythm is written, patiently, elegantly, with infinite care. And when you pause to watch, you are part of it. You too follow the cycle. Your body, your mind, your senses adjust consciously or unconsciously to the tilt of the Earth, the path of the sun, the shifting balance of light and warmth. In observing the seasons, you recognize the deep harmony between life and motion, between the planet and the star it circles. You see that time is not just a measure. It is a rhythm, a pattern, a quiet dance that has continued for billions of years and will continue long after. In this understanding, there is calm, there is gratitude, and there is awe. The Earth turns, the sun shines, and life flows in step with the eternal rhythm of the seasons. The vernal and autumnal equinoxes are quiet whispers in the grand symphony of the year. On these days, day and night hold each other in perfect balance. 12 hours of light, 12 hours of darkness, as if the Earth itself pauses to inhale and exhale. It is a moment of equilibrium, a subtle signal that the seasons are shifting. Though the change may seem imperceptible at first, attentive eyes and patient hearts can notice the hints. A bud swelling, a leaf trembling with a different hue, the air carrying a new softness or crispness. Spring arrives slowly, coaxed by the vernal equinox. Early flowers push through thawing soil, their petals hesitant yet determined. Crocuses, snowdrops, and daffodils open in gentle celebration, reaching for the sun as if to greet it personally. The wind carries a faint warmth, not yet constant, teasing the trees into tentative budding. Birds return from distant lands, guided by instincts that are older than calendars and clocks. Even the soil seems alive, cradling tiny seeds and whispering promises of growth. Life itself stirs in measured anticipation, each creature and plant responding to the quiet cues of lengthening days. In autumn, the equinox paints a different story. Leaves, once green and vibrant, now blush with amber, gold, and rust. They release themselves from branches, drifting slowly to the ground in a silent farewell. The air grows cooler, the sun lowers its arc, and shadows lengthen across fields and forests. Animals sense the shift too. Squirrels scurry to gather nuts, birds prepare for migration, and the world seems to fold gently in preparation for the colder months ahead. The equinox is a reminder that balance is fleeting, yet essential, that the earth moves in cycles of arrival and retreat, growth and rest. There is a meditative quality to these transitions. Seasons do not announce themselves loudly, they arrive in subtleties. Observing the first signs of change is an invitation to notice the delicate rhythms of life. A flower opening, a leaf falling, a bird's song. These are the universe's way of telling us that transformation is always underway. Even when invisible to the casual eye, there is a quiet preparation, a patient unfolding, in both nature and ourselves. This balance of day and night also mirrors our own inner seasons. Just as the earth shifts imperceptibly, we move through phases of activity and rest, of growth and release. The equinoxes remind us that equilibrium is not a static state but a momentary pause between cycles, a gentle nudge to pay attention to subtle changes in our own lives. We might notice how our energy rises with the lengthening days of spring, or how our thoughts grow inward, reflective, as autumn light shortens. The equinoxes also offer an opportunity for reflection. We can watch the world preparing quietly, and in doing so, cultivate awareness of our own rhythms. How do we awaken with the first hints of warmth, and how do we release what no longer serves us as the year turns? The dance of balance outside the window is echoed within, a silent conversation between self and earth. As the seasons shift, so does the texture of light. Spring's early sunlight is soft, almost fragile, filtering through branches not yet fully leafed. It carries a subtle warmth that encourages life to awaken gently. Autumn light is richer, lower, casting long golden streaks across landscapes, highlighting the delicate pattern of fallen leaves. In each case, the earth communicates through light and shadow, inviting us to slow down, to notice, to feel. There is a poetry in this quiet signaling, a story told without words, carried instead by temperature, color, and movement. Imagine walking through a forest or along a quiet street during these transitional days. In spring, the first flowers open at your feet, unnoticed by many, yet magnificent in their persistence. In autumn, leaves drift lazily from branches, landing in gentle spirals, each one a small farewell and a promise of return. The equinoxes are the threshold between seasons, a liminal space that holds both endings and beginnings. They teach us that change is not sudden or violent. It is subtle, measured, and cyclical. Life moves in waves, and each wave has its own rhythm. For humans, these quiet seasonal shifts have always been moments of observation and reverence. Ancient peoples watched the balance of day and night to predict planting and harvesting, to mark the passage of time, and to connect with the cosmos. Even now, we can reconnect with this ancient awareness by slowing down, by noticing the world around us, by attuning our senses to the delicate signs of transformation. So, take a moment to feel the first signs of change. Notice the light, the temperature, the sounds of returning or departing birds. Watch buds swelling or leaves trembling, and consider your own cycles of growth and release. The equinox teaches patience, awareness, and balance. It reminds us that life is not only in the extremes, summer heat or winter cold, but also in the gentle in-between, the quiet moments when the world shifts imperceptibly yet profoundly. In these moments, the earth whispers its timeless story, and we have the chance to listen. The solstices mark the extremes of Earth's yearly journey around the sun, the longest day and the longest night. They are moments when the planet leans most dramatically toward or away from the sun, and we are invited to pause and notice the contrast, the intensity, the beauty in these extremes. These are the times when light and darkness reveal their fullest power, when the rhythms of day and night become a meditation in themselves. In the Northern Hemisphere, the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. The sun climbs high in the sky, lingering over the horizon, spreading warmth across fields, cities, and forests. Shadows shrink, and the world feels expansive, awake, vibrant. Arctic regions may experience the midnight sun, where the sun never fully sets, circling the sky in a slow, golden arc. The light feels almost endless, yet even here, there is a subtle invitation to mindfulness. To notice the small movements, the whispers of wind, the patterns of leaves, the quiet lives of creatures stirred by constant sunlight. The winter solstice, by contrast, is the longest night, when the sun barely rises and darkness stretches across the land. In polar regions, the night can last for weeks, the sky a deep indigo canvas sprinkled with stars. Even in less extreme latitudes, the winter solstice invites a slowing down, a retreat into quiet, a gentle hibernation of sorts. The stillness of this darkness is not emptiness but a time of reflection, a pause to acknowledge what has passed and to prepare for what is coming. Shadows lengthen, and light, though scarce, gains a new richness in its rarity, making each sunrise and sunset feel like a small celebration. There is a poetry in these extremes. In summer, light paints the world with vivid strokes. Golden fields, sparkling rivers, leaves illuminated in every shade of green. In winter, darkness frames the world with mystery. Frost tracing delicate patterns on windows, the night sky vast and deep, each star a quiet spark of possibility. Both solstices teach us that life is a balance of contrasts. To appreciate warmth, we must know cold. To honor light, we must recognize darkness. The extremes invite gratitude, awareness, and presence. Solstices also mirror the cycles within us. Just as the earth reaches its peak of light or darkness, our own lives have moments of intensity and retreat. There are times when energy surges, ideas flow, and action is easy. These are our personal summer solstices. There are times when introspection deepens, when we seek quiet and stillness. Our own winter solstices. Observing the Earth's natural extremes can remind us to honor our own rhythms, to embrace periods of activity and rest, knowing that both are essential to the fullness of life. The Arctic and Antarctic extremes are particularly striking. Imagine a world where the sun never sets in midsummer, bathing glaciers and icy seas in golden light for weeks on end. Imagine the polar night, when darkness dominates and stars will across the sky like slow, silent dancers. In these extremes, nature seems amplified. Animals adapt, plants follow strict seasonal cues, and the human experience is shaped profoundly by light and darkness. Observing this, even in imagination, deepens our awe for the sun's steady influence and the Earth's precise tilt that choreographs this cosmic dance. Poetic imagery of solstices is everywhere if we choose to see it. The sun hanging low over snow-covered plains, the golden glow of a long summer evening over sun-drenched vineyards, the shimmer of frost under a weak winter sunrise, or the silver glow of the moon reflecting on ice. Light and darkness each tell a story, each invite us to notice, to breathe, to be present. The solstices remind us that extremes are not threats. They are natural, recurring, beautiful, and necessary. The summer solstice has long been celebrated by humans across cultures. Bonfires, dances, festivals, and songs honor the sun at its zenith, acknowledging its vital role in life's abundance. The winter solstice has been a time of reflection and hope, a quiet turning point toward returning light, celebrated with candles, fires, and rituals of warmth. Both extremes invite a connection to the cosmic rhythm, to the Earth's grand motion, to the way life unfolds in cycles beyond our control, yet intimately connected to our daily existence. Notice your own environment as the solstices approach. Observe how sunlight falls differently on familiar places, how shadows stretch or shrink, how temperature and sound shift. Listen to the world's response. Birds singing long into twilight, animals adjusting their routines, trees and plants changing imperceptibly. In summer, the world seems to exhale, abundant and alive. In winter, it inhales, quiet and contemplative. The solstices are invitations to align ourselves with these cycles, to move with the Earth's rhythms rather than against them. Even in modern life, when artificial light and climate control may mask some of the extremes, solstices carry a subtle magic. A few minutes of noticing the lengthening or shortening day, the angle of sunlight, the stillness of night, can reconnect us with something vast, something eternal. In this connection, we are reminded of the Earth's precision and patience, the sun's unwavering presence, and the delicate tilt that allows life to flourish through cycles of light and darkness. So, let the solstices guide you into awareness. Celebrate the peak of light, honor the depth of darkness, and recognize the interplay that sustains life. Observe, reflect, and breathe with the Earth's extremes. Notice the richness of sunlight in summer, the depth of shadow in winter. Feel the quiet preparation, the gentle anticipation of change. The solstices are not only astronomical events, they are reminders of life's rhythm, the beauty of contrast, and the subtle harmony that surrounds us every day. Long before telescopes, satellites, or calendars, human eyes lifted to the sky with curiosity and reverence. Our ancestors watched the sun, moon, and stars, noticing patterns, changes, and cycles. They observed the tilt of Earth's path around the sun, the steady march of seasons, and the shifting length of days and nights. In this quiet observation, survival and wonder intertwined, creating a bond between human life and the cosmic rhythm. Seasons were not just abstract ideas, they were instructions for living. The rising of a certain star signaled planting season. The first frost hinted at the time to harvest. Migration patterns of animals marked the approach of cold or warmth. Early humans learned to read these signs, aligning their daily actions with the sky's vast choreography. Life was synchronized with the celestial dance, each sunrise and sunset a soft reminder of nature's order. Around flickering fires, people would trace patterns in the stars, storytelling becoming intertwined with observation. Constellations were not only guides, they were narratives, connecting the heavens to human experiences. Some told of hunters and herds, some of lovers or legendary battles, and some simply celebrated the cycle of life and death, growth and rest. In this gentle weaving of knowledge and imagination, human life became inseparable from the motion of the sky. Agriculture emerged as humans noticed the regularity of seasons. Planting, tending, and harvesting followed precise timings dictated by light and temperature. Observing the sun's path and the solstices, early farmers understood when to sow seeds that would later feed their families. Villages and communities grew around these rhythms, life flowing in harmony with nature rather than against it. The sky became a clock, a calendar, a guide, a silent teacher revealing the passage of time through subtle, observable signs. Migration, too, followed the celestial rhythm. Animals moved according to light, temperature, and seasonal abundance, and humans tracked these movements for food and safety. Birds, fish, and land animals all followed cycles encoded by nature and dictated by the sun's steady influence. Watching these migrations, humans recognized the interdependence of life, the necessity of attuning their activities to natural patterns, and the quiet wisdom embedded in observing the world closely. There is something deeply meditative in imagining ancient eyes scanning the sky, night after night. In the stillness of pre-dawn or under the glow of a crescent moon, humans contemplated the vastness above. The stars, fixed and eternal, contrasted with the fleeting patterns of clouds and weather, teaching patience and attentiveness. The sun's predictable journey through the sky offered both constancy and reassurance. Ancient observers learned to measure time, anticipate change, and find safety and meaning in these patterns, all while marveling at the grandeur above. Soft reflections on firelight and harvest nights bring us closer to the human connection with seasons. Picture a winter evening. A small village illuminated by flickering flames, shadows dancing across faces as elders point to the sky and explain the returning sun. Or a summer evening, when fields glow under a long golden light and families celebrate abundance with song and dance. These are not just rituals. They are a living, breathing acknowledgement of the earth's cycles and our place within them. The sky is a mirror, reflecting both the grand and the intimate rhythms of life. Even in the simplest observations, there is wonder. The first buds of spring, the warmth of midday in summer, the turning leaves of autumn, the hush of snow in winter. All these moments were connected to careful watching of the sun, moon, and stars. Ancient eyes trained in attentiveness learned to notice small changes. The angle of sunlight, the length of shadows, the color of the evening sky. Each observation deepened their understanding of Earth's cycles and their own life within them. Meditative imagery emerges naturally here. The slow rotation of the night sky over a village, the flickering shadows of firelight on stone and wood, the gentle murmur of a river reflecting the moon's glow. In these moments, humans were not merely surviving. They were engaged in a quiet conversation with the cosmos. The sky taught patience, humility, and awe. Every movement of light and shadow carried lessons in rhythm, balance, and the inevitability of change. Through observation, early humans discovered patterns that informed agriculture, navigation, and ritual. Yet these patterns also became spiritual and cultural touchstones. Skywatching was both practical and poetic. The turning of seasons, the waxing and waning of the moon, the first and last appearances of stars in the horizon. All of these were opportunities for reflection and story. In connecting their lives to the sky, humans experienced a sense of belonging to a larger rhythm, one that extended far beyond individual lifetimes. As we reflect on ancient eyes on the sky, we notice a quiet invitation to slow down, to watch, and to connect. Our modern lives often rush past these patterns, yet the same principles remain. Observing nature, noticing cycles, and aligning ourselves with subtle changes fosters mindfulness. The skies that guided our ancestors can guide us still, offering insight, calm, and a reminder of the enduring bond between life on Earth and the cosmic dance above. The stars, the sun, and the moon remain teachers. Their movements are constant, gentle, and precise, revealing lessons in patience, preparation, and reflection. By considering how ancient humans observed and celebrated these patterns, we can regain a sense of rhythm in our lives, attuning to the natural cycles that continue to shape our world. The sky is an archive of time, a map of change, and a canvas of beauty, waiting for attentive eyes to see, to wonder, and to feel connected. When we think of seasons, we often picture the familiar. Spring blossoms, summer warmth, autumn leaves, winter's quiet frost. But Earth is not the only world that dances with the sun. Other planets, each with its own tilt, orbit, and rhythm, experience seasons in ways both familiar and utterly alien. Observing them sparks curiosity, awe, and a gentle reminder of how unique our home truly is. Mars, the red planet, has seasons like ours, though stretched over longer periods. Its axis tilts similarly to Earth's, but because a Martian year lasts nearly twice as long, each season lingers. Imagine standing on dusty plains under a pale pink sky as the sun climbs slowly, casting long shadows over ancient craters. Spring brings faint greening of the sparse mosses scientists have discovered, while winter plunges the thin atmosphere into bitter cold. The rhythm is slow, measured, patient, a reminder that change need not rush. Uranus, tilted almost entirely on its side, offers a surreal spectacle. Its poles face the sun for decades at a time, bathing in constant light or enduring prolonged darkness. For a human observer, summers would feel eternal, and winters endless. The notion of a day or season becomes fluid, almost dreamlike. Standing on its icy surface, though impossible for us, would be like living within a painting where light and shadow stretch beyond familiar limits. Each solstice would transform the planet entirely, a world of extremes and quiet strangeness. Saturn, with its majestic rings and multiple moons, has its own unique seasonal dance. Tilted like Earth, but more extreme, the rings themselves reflect sunlight differently over its long year, altering the sky's brightness. Imagine the golden glow of Saturnian summer, its rings shimmering overhead, then months later, the sky darkening as winter encroaches. The cycles are slow, stately, and elegant, inviting reflection on the diversity of cosmic rhythms. Each planet's tilt, orbit, and atmosphere shape a distinct melody of light, warmth, and shadow. Contemplating these alien seasons encourages a gentle curiosity. We can imagine Martian winds stirring dust storms across silent plains, Uranian skies painted in endless light, Saturnian rings glinting under a distant Sunday. These worlds remind us that seasons are not merely earthly phenomena. They are universal, sculpted by the delicate balance of tilt, orbit, and celestial mechanics. Every planet tells a different story, yet all are part of the same cosmic dance. Even in imagination, the contrasts reveal Earth's special grace. Our temperate swings, the balance of sunlight and darkness, the reliable turning of spring into summer, autumn into winter. These rhythms are gentle, measured, and life-sustaining. Compared to the extreme, alien cycles of our planetary neighbors, Earth's seasons feel tender, nurturing, and harmonious. We experience warmth and cold, growth and rest, with a reliability that allows life to flourish. Meditatively, we can consider how life might respond elsewhere. Would Martian microbes lie dormant through long winters, awakening in brief springs? Would Uranian beings, if they existed, adapt to decades of light and darkness, their sense of time stretched and flexible? These speculations invite both wonder and humility, reminding us that life adapts to rhythm, yet thrives most where balance is present. The cosmos is vast, and yet each world's cycles echo the principle of change and response we know so well on Earth. Reflection deepens as we return our attention home. While distant planets spin in extremes, Earth's seasons nurture familiar cycles. Flowers opening, rivers thawing, leaves turning gold. The sky's gentle tilt, the sun's warm arc, the slow march of months. These rhythms cradle life in subtle, patient ways. By observing the alien, we notice the ordinary, appreciating its reliability and softness. Earth's seasonal dance becomes more vivid, more precious, and more worth mindful attention. We can also consider how observing other planets shapes human imagination and culture. Stories of Mars, Saturn, and Uranus inspire art, science, and philosophy. They spark questions about adaptation, resilience, and our place in the universe. Gazing at the night sky, we glimpse these worlds as possibilities, each orbit and tilt a reminder of diversity in cosmic design. Even without traveling there, contemplating their seasons expands awareness, inspiring a quiet awe akin to watching Earth's own rhythms unfold in nature. Finally, meditative attention encourages a personal connection. As we imagine alien winters and summers, we also notice the subtle shifts around us. The lengthening days, the changing color of leaves, the first frost glinting under early morning light. Each seasonal cue is an invitation to pause, reflect, and align with Earth's slow, steady rhythm. In doing so, we honor not only our planet's cycles but the vast, interconnected patterns of the cosmos itself. The seasons of other planets remind us of the diversity of experience, the extremes of possibility, and the unique balance of our own world. They encourage curiosity, reflection, and gratitude. In the silence of space, across cold deserts, icy landscapes, and golden rings, the principle remains. Tilt, orbit, and light govern change. On Earth, this change is gentle and life-affirming, guiding growth, rest, and renewal. Observing the distant and the alien magnifies our awareness of the ordinary and the wondrous, deepening a quiet sense of wonder and connection. As we conclude this chapter, imagine standing beneath your own sky, feeling the sun's warmth, noticing the shifting light, and breathing in the calm assurance of Earth's gentle cycles. Let the cosmos, in all its diversity, remind you of the harmony and rhythm that sustains life here. Seasons beyond Earth inspire awe, but the seasons we experience, soft, balanced, and life-giving, invite mindful presence and gratitude. Seasons are more than the tilt of the Earth or the path of the sun. They are the quiet choreographers of climate and weather. The gentle inclination of our planet dictates how sunlight reaches different regions, shaping the warmth of the tropics, the crisp air of temperate zones, and the frozen stillness of polar landscapes. Every tilt, every turn, every passing day nudges the atmosphere into movement, guiding winds, currents, clouds, and rain. The dance of climate is subtle, yet profound, touching every living being in delicate, unseen ways. Imagine watching clouds drift lazily across a summer sky, their shadows stretching across fields and rivers. You can feel the invisible hand of the Earth's tilt shaping the sun's energy, warming some lands, leaving others cool. Winds swirl gently, pushing moisture from oceans to mountains, creating soft rainfall that nourishes seeds and grasses. Snowflakes form in quiet orchestration in colder regions, settling on branches and rooftops like nature's delicate confetti. Each pattern, each gust, is part of an immense choreography that repeats with both precision and improvisation. Monsoons, for example, are a dramatic illustration of this seasonal dance. Across India and Southeast Asia, the sun's position shifts, heating land more quickly than the oceans. Air rises, drawing clouds inland in a slow, patient march. Rain follows, drenching landscapes, swelling rivers, and renewing soil. Life responds immediately. Crops grow, rivers swell, birds arrive. The monsoon is not only a meteorological event but a reminder of Earth's rhythm, the interplay between tilt, sunlight, and the living world. It is a symphony of water, wind, and warmth. In temperate regions, the tilt shapes subtler patterns. Spring emerges gradually. Days lengthen, temperatures rise, and the air carries hints of renewal. Summer extends warmth and light, coaxing blooms from buds and ripening fruit from branches. Autumn cools, inviting leaves to turn gold, red, and amber before falling silently to the ground. Winter blankets the land in snow or frost, slowing life, offering rest. The climate's dance is quiet yet persistent, a gentle reminder that every moment is part of a greater pattern. Polar regions display extremes with extraordinary clarity. In the Arctic and Antarctic, summers bring the sun high into the sky for months, a golden light that never sets. Winds sweep across ice sheets, clouds drift low, and even the chill carries a sense of movement and vitality. Winter returns with darkness, silence, and frozen stillness. Each year, these cycles repeat with extraordinary reliability, a slow, meditative rhythm that seems almost sacred. Observing them invites patience and attentiveness, a lesson in noticing the subtle, yet powerful shifts around us. Rivers freeze and thaw, oceans swell and recede, deserts bloom briefly after rare rains, all responding to the gentle pulse of Earth's tilt and orbit. Nature adapts seamlessly, flowing with seasonal cues. Animals migrate, hibernate, and breed according to these patterns, each species in tune with climate's timing. Plants grow, flower, and drop seeds precisely when the conditions are right. Life is deeply attuned to this seasonal choreography, thriving in harmony with Earth's slow, reliable rhythm. Even in our own human experience, weather shapes moods, routines, and awareness. Gentle winds can refresh and calm, sunlight can lift spirits, and the quiet presence of snow or rain can invite reflection. By noticing these patterns, we connect more deeply with the environment, attuning ourselves to the subtle pulse of seasons and climate. Observing the weather becomes more than casual awareness. It is a meditative practice, an invitation to align with the natural world cycles. The dance of climate is also a story of balance. Equator to poles, sea to mountain, desert to forest, every shift in sunlight triggers responses in air, water, and land. Heat rising over warm regions pulls air currents, creating wind and storms. Moisture cycles from ocean to land and back again. Clouds form and dissolve, rain falls and evaporates. This intricate system is not random. It is a delicate equilibrium maintained by tilt, orbit, and gravity. Each element plays its part, contributing to the quiet beauty of the season's rhythm. We can notice these patterns in small, mindful ways. Watch a cloud drift across a blue sky, trace the river's movement, feel the wind brushing your skin. Notice the first frost on leaves, the scent of rain on soil, or the soft warmth of sunlight breaking through winter clouds. Each observation connects us to the broader climate dance, reminding us that we, too, are participants in the unfolding rhythm of the earth. Life and seasons are inseparable. Noticing one deepens awareness of the other. Reflecting on climate and weather encourages gratitude and attentiveness. The tilt of the earth is not abstract. It is the reason the air cools in autumn, the reason rivers swell in spring, the reason gentle rains refresh our gardens. The extremes, from torrential monsoons to polar freezes, are tempered by the regularity of cycles, a steady rhythm underpinning life on this planet. Observing this dance invites mindfulness, a quiet sense of harmony, and an awareness that every breath, every gust of wind, every drop of rain is part of a vast, orchestrated movement. In the meditative quiet of reflection, we recognize that seasons, weather, and climate are not separate from us. They shape our surroundings, our experiences, our lives. Each moment of sun or snow, warmth or chill, is an invitation to notice, to breathe, to align with Earth's gentle pulse. By observing, we honor the steady rhythm of life, the invisible choreography that sustains all living things, and the quiet, enduring beauty of the world around us. The changing of seasons is not only a story written in sunlight, tilt, and orbit. It is a narrative read by every living being. Life on Earth is attuned to the rhythm of light and darkness, warmth and chill, rain and snow. Plants, animals, and humans respond quietly, sometimes imperceptibly, yet profoundly, to the subtle cues each season provides. Every bloom, migration, and festival is a reflection of the planet's steady, patient dance. Begin with the plants. Seeds sense the lengthening days of spring, stirring beneath the soil as if awakened by a gentle, unseen hand. Shoots push upward, seeking the light, tender leaves unfurling to drink in the sun's warmth. Blossoms appear gradually, their colors vivid yet soft, a quiet celebration of renewal. By summer, trees are fully clothed in foliage, fields of grain sway in the warmth, and gardens overflow with fruit. As autumn approaches, leaves shift from green to gold, crimson, and amber, signaling a gentle retreat, a preparation for rest. Even in winter, life persists. Some plants enter dormancy, their energy stored invisibly, while evergreens maintain a quiet, steadfast presence. Nature responds to the seasons with a rhythm that is both delicate and resolute. Animals, too, follow this seasonal script. Birds migrate, crossing continents guided by light, temperature, and instinct. Some journey thousands of miles, following invisible maps etched into their being, seeking warmer skies or richer feeding grounds. Others hibernate, folding into long periods of rest beneath soil, snow, or foliage, conserving energy until the world softens with spring. Bees and butterflies emerge in perfect timing to pollinate flowers, maintaining the intricate web of life. Even in the ocean, creatures adjust to the changing currents, temperatures, and light, following patterns that have persisted for millennia. Each movement, migration, and adaptation is a testament to the intimate connection between life and the seasonal rhythm. Humans, though more shielded by clothing, shelters, and technology, are also influenced by the cycle of the seasons. Ancient societies relied heavily on these rhythms, planting, harvesting, hunting, and migrating according to the cues provided by nature. Today, festivals and holidays often reflect seasonal shifts, marking solstices, equinoxes, harvests, and new growth. There is a deep, almost subconscious recognition of light and darkness, warmth and chill, even in our modern lives. Our moods, energy levels, and behaviors are subtly tied to the sun's journey across the sky, the tilt of the earth, and the passage of time. Consider the small, daily rhythms. Early spring mornings carry the fresh scent of earth and blossoms, inviting walks and quiet reflection. Summer afternoons are long, golden, filled with the hum of insects, the rustle of leaves, and the warmth of sunlight on skin. Autumn evenings bring a coolness that encourages introspection, the crispness of fallen leaves underfoot, the first fires lit in hearths. Winter's chill slows the world, inviting rest, contemplation, and warmth shared with others. Each season shapes not only the external environment but also the internal landscape of life, our thoughts, feelings, and rhythms. Stories of animals preparing for seasonal changes illustrate the precision and patience embedded in nature. A squirrel gathers acorns in early autumn, storing them for the months of scarcity. A fox thickens its coat, blending insulation with camouflage. Monarch butterflies embark on a precise migratory journey spanning thousands of miles. Even microscopic life, such as bacteria and plankton, follows seasonal pulses of temperature, nutrients, and light. These responses are not random. They are intricately tied to the Earth's motion, the sun's warmth, and the tilt of the axis. Life moves in harmony with the planet's slow, predictable choreography. Plants and animals teach us mindfulness. By observing their timing, we learn to notice subtle shifts in our own environment. The first crocus breaking through frost, the last migrating goose departing the lake, the gentle hum of summer insects, all invite awareness. They remind us that life is not constant in one state but responds continuously to external cues. These natural rhythms foster patience, gratitude, and attentiveness, encouraging us to notice the quiet, enduring beauty of the world. Human culture, too, mirrors these seasonal responses. Communities gather to celebrate planting and harvest, to honor light during the solstices, and to reflect on transitions during equinoxes. Music, art, and stories often echo seasonal motifs. Spring's awakening, summer's abundance, autumn's change, winter's stillness. Even contemporary practices, like enjoying seasonal fruits, observing daylight savings, or hiking to notice the changing landscape, echo a timeless awareness of Earth's rhythm. Seasons shape not only the natural world but also our human experience, weaving a subtle, poetic connection between the planet and ourselves. The interplay of life and seasons is a reminder that we are participants, not separate observers. Every action, from a bee's flight to a tree's flowering, from a bird's migration to a festival celebration, is part of a vast, interwoven rhythm. By noticing these patterns, by observing how life responds to light, warmth, and cold, we cultivate a sense of alignment with the planet. The seasons are teachers of timing, adaptation, and harmony, offering insights into the patience and resilience inherent in life. As you listen to this story, take a quiet moment to observe the life around you. Notice the trees, the birds, the insects, or even the small plants peeking from cracks in the pavement. Reflect on your own routines, your moods, and your awareness of light and temperature. Every shift, every change, every subtle cue is part of the larger seasonal cycle. Life responds with grace, patience, and continuity, inviting you to do the same, to move gently, observe attentively, and live in quiet alignment with the Earth's enduring rhythm. Seasons shape life in ways both grand and subtle, from the first crocus to the migration of whales, from budding trees to the timing of festivals. They are the pulse to which all life dances, a quiet, enduring reminder of connection, resilience, and harmony. To notice the response of life to seasons is to notice the world itself, to breathe in its cycles, to honor the slow, beautiful rhythm that sustains us all. In our modern world, the rhythm of seasons is often quieter, more hidden than it once was. Concrete, glass, and steel surround us, while artificial lights extend our days and heaters, and air conditioners soften the extremes of weather. Technology, global travel, and fast-paced routines have created a life largely insulated from nature's subtle cues. Yet, even in this world of constant motion, the seasons whisper. They invite us to pause, to notice, to reconnect with the slow, enduring cycles that have shaped life for millennia. Step into a city street in winter. The air might be chill and damp, the sun low in the sky, but inside office buildings, homes, and cafes, warmth and light erase much of the external change. We live in controlled environments, our bodies shielded from frost and heat, our schedules dictated by clocks rather than sunlight. It is easy to forget that outside, the Earth continues its steady orbit, tilting, spinning, moving through a cosmic dance that brings day and night, growth and rest, light and shadow. Yet even in this separation, the seasons remain, if only we notice them. Consider the small, quiet reminders of seasonal change. Morning light creeping across a windowsill may shift imperceptibly, arriving a few minutes earlier each day in spring, retreating slowly in autumn. The scent of rain in early summer, the crispness of fallen leaves in autumn, the soft powder of first snow in winter, all invite awareness. Even the colors of the sky, the angle of shadows, and the temperature of the breeze carry information about the Earth's journey around the sun. By paying attention to these small cues, we begin to reawaken our connection to the natural rhythm, even within modern walls. Modern life often distances us not only from seasons but from our own natural cycles. We work artificial hours, sleep under soft lights, and consume foods available year-round. Yet deep within, subtle changes persist. Some days bring bursts of energy in sync with longer daylight, while others invite rest during longer nights. Our moods, appetite, and alertness are influenced by sunlight and temperature, echoing ancient rhythms. Recognizing these patterns can become a gentle form of mindfulness, a reminder that even amidst modernity, life continues to respond to the world outside. Poetry and art have long sought to reconnect us with seasons, translating the Earth's movements into human expression. Writers describe the first green of spring, painters capture autumn's fiery canopy, photographers freeze the hush of winter. Music celebrates solstices and harvests, festivals mark the equinoxes. These creative acts are more than aesthetic. They are a bridge, linking our modern lives back to the cycles that sustain us. Through art, literature, and observation, we can honor the passage of time, the shift of light, the movement of life, even when our daily routines seem detached from nature. Modern reflections on seasons also invite gratitude and awareness. Pause to notice the morning sun spilling through a window, illuminating a simple corner of your home. Smell the faint aroma of rain on a city street or feel the chill of a winter evening brushing your cheeks. Watch trees bending in the wind, flowers reaching for light, birds moving through the sky. These small observations restore a sense of presence, anchoring us to the larger rhythms that persist, constant and patient. Seasons continue to move, whether or not we notice, but by observing them we rejoin the dance. Even in urban landscapes, nature finds a way. Parks, gardens, and street trees respond visibly to seasonal change. Flowers bloom in spring, leaves turn in autumn, and snow blankets lawns in winter. Birds still migrate, insects still emerge, and sunlight still marks the passing hours. By noticing these cues, we cultivate awareness, patience, and alignment. The seasons become teachers, showing us that life persists, adapts, and celebrates change, even in environments shaped largely by human hands. Technology, paradoxically, can also reconnect us. Cameras, time-lapses, and apps allow us to track the length of days, the position of the sun, and the blooming of plants. Virtual gardens and online communities share observations of seasonal change from around the globe. Modern tools, when used mindfully, can enhance our understanding and appreciation of Earth's rhythms rather than obscure them. We can blend ancient awareness with contemporary life, creating a bridge between technology and nature, between human invention and the cosmic dance of our planet. Finally, modern reflections encourage intentional living. By choosing to observe and honor seasonal shifts, we restore a subtle connection to time, growth, and change. Simple acts, opening a window to feel the breeze, walking among trees, noticing the first frost or the spring's first bloom, become meditative practices. These moments remind us that we are part of a larger cycle, that light and dark, warmth and cold, growth and rest continue to shape life. Even in a world of artificiality and speed, the Earth's steady rhythm endures, inviting us to notice, breathe, and align ourselves with its timeless flow. The seasons remind us that life is a dance between movement and stillness, light and shadow, growth and reflection. Modern life may have softened our awareness, but the subtle cues remain. Morning sunlight, autumn leaves, winter frost, summer warmth. All are invitations to pause, to reflect, and to participate consciously in the Earth's eternal cycle. By observing, appreciating, and aligning with these rhythms, we cultivate a sense of harmony, mindfulness, and gratitude. The world continues to turn, slowly, steadily, beautifully, and we, too, can move gently with it, noticing each small shift, each quiet sign, each precious moment of change. Every day, the Earth moves through a silent, steady rhythm. It spins, tilts, and orbits, carrying life along in a grand, invisible dance. From the quiet of a backyard garden to the vast sweep of mountain ranges, the world participates in this cosmic choreography, an eternal cycle of light and shadow, warmth and cold, growth and rest. The seasons, with their delicate shifts and enduring patterns, are the most tangible expression of this rhythm. They are reminders that even as the world changes, some movements remain constant, patient, and unhurried. Notice the small, daily signs of this cycle. Morning light touches the horizon a little earlier each day in spring, retreating gradually as autumn comes. Shadows lengthen and shorten with each passing hour, unnoticed by many yet faithfully marking time. Flowers open with sunlight, responding to cues written into their very being. Leaves fall, decompose, and nourish the soil for future growth. Animals migrate and hibernate, attuned to subtle variations of day and temperature. These patterns are ancient, repeated countless times before us, and will continue long after we are gone. Observing them invites a quiet gratitude, a sense of belonging to something larger than ourselves. Mindfulness of the seasons is a meditation in itself. To watch the world change slowly is to enter a state of awareness that balances motion with stillness. When a river freezes and melts again, when a field blooms and is harvested, when the sun arcs higher or lower in the sky, we witness time made visible. Life is cyclical, and so is our perception of it. By tuning in to these rhythms, we cultivate patience, a deeper understanding of change, and a gentle acceptance of the passing of moments. The eternal cycle teaches that all growth and all endings have their place, and that stillness and motion coexist harmoniously. The cosmic dance of the Earth extends beyond seasons. The orbit of the planet around the sun, the tilt of its axis, the subtle wobble over millennia, all shape life in ways often invisible but profoundly influential. These movements remind us that change is a natural law, not a disruption. The seasons, in their measured transitions, offer lessons in adaptation. Just as Earth moves through extremes of light and darkness, warmth and cold, we too experience cycles of energy, rest, joy, and challenge. By noticing these parallels, we can live more harmoniously with both our inner rhythms and the outer world. Reflection on the eternal cycle also invites gratitude. Each sunrise, each first frost, each spring bloom is a gift, a reminder of continuity in a world of impermanence. Even when life feels hurried or chaotic, the slow passage of seasons assures us that patterns endure. Winter will yield to spring. Night will give way to day. In this steady unfolding, we find reassurance, a sense of stability and perspective. The cycles of the Earth are generous, offering repetition and renewal, endings and beginnings, in a rhythm that carries all life forward. Meditation on these patterns can be as simple as stepping outside and observing, or as profound as imagining the Earth from space, turning gracefully, bathed in sunlight, with vast oceans, forests, deserts, and cities all moving together. The tilt that brings seasons, the orbit that measures years, the rotation that defines days. All these elements combine to create a living, breathing world. By visualizing these movements, by feeling the subtle pull of the Earth's cycles, we participate mentally and spiritually in the eternal rhythm, grounding ourselves in the flow of life. The eternal cycle also encourages a sense of connection. Each creature, each plant, each drop of water participates in the seasonal dance. Flowers rely on pollinators, animals depend on food availability, humans adjust their activity to light and temperature. These connections are reminders that life is interdependent, woven together in intricate patterns shaped by cosmic motion. Observing this network, even in a small backyard or local park, nurtures humility and appreciation. We are part of a continuum that stretches across time and space, and the seasons are the visible heartbeat of this ongoing flow. Finally, the eternal cycle calls us to awareness in the present moment. It asks us to notice small changes. A bird returning, a leaf turning, a sunbeam shifting. By aligning ourselves with these subtle movements, we cultivate mindfulness, gratitude, and peace. We begin to see that life, like the Earth's orbit, is a series of interconnected cycles. Energy rises and falls, light waxes and wanes, growth follows rest. To witness this is to participate gently in the rhythm of the world, to honor the passage of time, and to recognize our place within the vast cosmic dance. As we conclude this journey through the seasons, we are reminded that the Earth's rhythm continues unabated. The tilt of the axis, the arc of the sun, the changing lengths of day and night, all repeat with quiet certainty. The eternal cycle is a teacher, a guide, and a companion. By observing, reflecting, and aligning with its patterns, we cultivate a deeper connection to life, to nature, and to the passage of time. Each moment, each subtle change, each gentle shift of light is an invitation to mindfulness, to gratitude, and to the serene acceptance of life's flowing rhythm. In noticing, we participate. In participating, we belong. And in belonging, we find harmony. The seasons will continue, and so will we, moving gently with the Earth's eternal cycle. Light and shadow, warmth and cold, growth and rest, all unfold in a steady, unbroken dance. The Earth turns, the sun rises, and life continues, ever patient, ever present, ever beautiful. By opening our senses, our hearts, and our awareness to this rhythm, we discover a calmness that endures, a continuity that reassures, and a harmony that sustains. The eternal cycle is not only the story of Earth, it is the story of life itself, flowing quietly, gently, and endlessly onward. Now, as the story of the seasons comes to a close, allow yourself to rest within the rhythm of the Earth. Feel the slow, steady heartbeat of the planet beneath your feet, the quiet turning of days and nights, the gentle arc of the sun across the sky. Each moment is part of a larger pattern, a cosmic dance that carries life forward with patience and grace. Breathe in deeply and notice the subtle changes around you. The soft light filtering through leaves, the faint scent of the air, the shifting warmth on your skin. Let these small wonders remind you that you are part of this eternal cycle, connected to everything that grows, rests, and awakens with the seasons. As your mind settles, imagine the Earth turning gently, orbiting, tilting, and moving through space, each season blending into the next. In this vast, quiet flow, you are safe, you are calm, and you belong. Carry this awareness with you into sleep, letting the harmony of light, shadow, warmth, and cold guide your dreams. Drift gently, knowing that the world continues its steady dance, and you are cradled within it, peaceful, grounded, and part of the eternal cycle.